What a time like Thanksgiving reveals the most about people like you and me is that we have a very underappreciated trait. Our ability to chameleon ourselves and disguise our emotions amongst a group of people who will just never understand. You sit at the dinner table shoving turkey and stuffing down the gullet, and with the phone neatly placed on your lap as you peek down to see if that seven-leg parlay is about to hit, and it doesn't. Quadruple zeros on the clock and you have lost, but you need to hold it together because you have family and friends around, none of whom understand the pain that you're going through. And you have to continue on about your day and your night and celebrate the festivities as if nothing ever happened. Try and tell me we aren't special. Hey, this is Picks for Every Game for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there. It's going to be a good one. We've got some great games on the slate heading into Thursday, trying to get this one out as early as possible. And for those of you guys who are new to this, you already know I do this on Tuesday for the main games. Actually, it'll be on Friday for the main Sunday and Monday games this week, but Tuesday for the Thanksgiving, and we'll have the Black Friday game in here as well. Just know that we don't have full injury reporting. A lot of these teams are going to be doing walkthroughs. We won't have everything we need to know until closer to these games kick off. So keep an eye on that. But these are the reads. As always, hey, show some holiday spirit. Hit that thumbs up and that hype button, which happens after you hit the thumbs up. Apparently that helps a lot. Thank you for those of you who have done it. And subscribe to the channel. It's free to do so. Let's have some fun. Packers on the road against the Lions. Lions laying 2.5 here. This kicks off Thanksgiving at 1 o'clock Eastern time. You know, the Packers are an interesting team right now. The defense at times is just impenetrable. We saw it in a loss against the Eagles. We saw it at home also in a loss against the Carolina Panthers. But it was the offense that went into hibernation mode. And, you know, against the Giants, fine, the offense was okay. Against the Vikings, sure, but a lot of that is J.J. McCarthy just being terrible in creating favorable field position. Whereas, you know, Jordan Love hasn't had to do all that much recently. And he hasn't had all of the weapons to do it either. Still a lot of guys on the injury report. On the other side, and I should say about the Packers, the one real strength they have is, you know, they can get after a quarterback. However, they have actually allowed a decent amount of time to throw for opposing quarterbacks, which is a little bit surprising. On the other side, listen, the Lions struggled against the Giants last week. But I don't want to say I throw that out the window, you know, despite the absolutely remarkable game from Jahmyr Gibbs. Just the guy is unreal, true freak of nature. And a perfectly reasonable performance from Jared Goff. And Amon-Ra St. Brown hit that century mark once again. Jameson Williams got blanked. But, you know, I always say this about Jameis Winston, is that this is the type of guy who you say, you know what, he should be our starter now after a couple crazy games. Remember the snow globe game last year on, I believe, Thursday night against the Steelers? They won that outright as big dogs. Last week, they almost knocked off the Lions in their own house. He does that. And then what happens? He kind of turns back into a pumpkin. And then you go, oh, wait a second. This is why Jameson Williams wasn't a starting quarterback this year or last year or the year before that. It's just what he does. He has some remarkable performances and then goes back to being Jameis Winston and throws multiple pick sixes like we saw in primetime against the Broncos last year as well. That's just who he is, okay? So in a way, I throw that game out the window. I look at this as a spot where if I'm getting the Lions inside of a field goal at home, a team that is getting healthier on defense, okay? DJ Reed was activated off the IR. Davenport could also be back. Dan Campbell said that he's expecting him or that he's hopeful he'll be back. And the defense is looking a lot healthier than we saw not only throughout the season, but specifically last week as well. You've got them at home. Let's not forget in week 1 at Lambeau Field, they had a brutal loss against the Packers. Pretty embarrassing loss, right? Where they were actually, I believe, slight favorites on the road. And they lost outright by like 14, 13 points or whatever it was. If I'm getting them inside of a field goal here, this has to be a spot that I go back to the Lions. They have no Sam Laporta, likely done for the year, but still a litany of options on offense and a defense that's getting healthier against the Packers team that may not have Josh Jacobs. And if they do, he'll probably be limited. And of course, a passing game that simply has not been working of late. Do I think in a divisional spot this game will be close? Absolutely. Do I think that they likely split the series after Green Bay took the first one in week 1? Yes. And for that reason, getting the Lions at -2.5 is going to be my spot. You guys know the Lions have been a source of contention in this video over the years. You always say I go against them, but it's not true. Let me know down below in the comments if the Lions are who you're on this week. My guess is they might be a little bit chalky here, but the fact that it's still inside of 2.5 just simply means I have to take this spot. Next up, we've got the Chiefs. And by the way, stick around. I get a fun same game parlay in this next game. Already posted it over to Tails, so hopefully you guys are on there and have tailed this before this video ever comes out. Make sure you're getting the best odds possible. We'll get to that in a second. But first, we got to talk about the Chiefs and the Cowboys. The Cowboys are at home as 3.5-point dogs. The Chiefs coming off an overtime win last week where that came, truly down to the wire against the Colts. But once again, it's like, sure, the Chiefs defense looked great. They put the stops on Jonathan Taylor, which isn't a huge surprise. And the offense was okay, right? Like the offense was just okay. Rashee Rice had a good game, but Kareem Hunt with the 100+ yard game carrying them, that's something that feels highly unsustainable. Granted, Isaiah Pacheco was a full practice participant, listed as, estimated as a full participant, so he should be back this week as well. And then the Cowboys overcome a 21-0 deficit against the Philadelphia Eagles to win that game in Dallas on Sunday night, or Sunday at 4. It was a 4 o'clock window. Yeah, incredible comeback. As an Eagles fan, I didn't love it, but I will say I bet the Cowboys. I thought the Cowboys could win that game outright. And when it was 21-0, I'm like, man, did I have the wrong read on this one? But no, look, the Cowboys lost in week 1. Again, similar to the Lions and the Packers. They lost in week 1 to the Eagles in that, rain and lightning suspended game for an hour and a half. CeeDee Lamb dropped 2, probably should have been touchdowns, at the very least set them up for a touchdown late in the game, and they end up losing. That was a huge game for them on Sunday. Let's not pretend it wasn't, okay? That game, that win was a massive, massive victory for them against a divisional opponent, and not only a divisional opponent, but a team that was the reigning Super Bowl champions that already beat them this year. And Dak Prescott is phenomenal at home. He also has CeeDee Lamb and he has George Pickens. I'm not sure people understand just how good George Pickens is, right? And Jake Ferguson and Javonte Williams has been excellent. He carved up at times a very good run defense for the Philadelphia Eagles. And of course, the Eagles had some very uncharacteristic turnovers. That game could have looked a lot different, right? Fumble the punt return. Saquon Barkley with his first fumble of the season. The Eagles had an interception that was overturned because they had 12 men on the field. Look, I'm not making excuses. What I am saying is we're going to talk about the Eagles for the Black Friday game in a minute, and I'm setting you up for that to kind of understand where we probably go for that game. Dak Prescott's 4-3 on Thanksgiving. But let's be fair here. 3 of these wins came against Washington, 1 came against the Giants, and his losses came to the Bills, to the Raiders in overtime when Derek Carr was still there, and to the Chargers, who had Phillip Rivers at the time. So they haven't dominated, but this is more or less just throw it out the window. I do believe they've improved significantly on defense, though. With the addition of Quinnen Williams, getting Overshawn back as well, the offense is firing on all cylinders. They have 2 of the best pass catchers in the league and a very, very good quarterback. Dak Prescott at home is different than Daniel Jones on the road at Arrowhead. You know what I mean? Like, yes, Michael Pittman and Tyler Warren are good players, and Downs is fine, and Pierce is okay. Like, Pickens and CeeDee Lamb might be the best duo in football. So I'm going to take the Cowboys outside of a field goal plus 3.5 here. It's not because I don't think the Chiefs are a good football team. They are. They're balanced. But I think the Cowboys right now have the firepower to get it done. And let's not act like Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Jalen Phillips on the Philadelphia Eagles. That's not a defense that has absolutely shut teams down, right? They destroyed Jared Goff and Jordan Love and a lot of teams that came before them. And Dak Prescott, in that second half, they scored 24 unanswered. So, yes, I think this could be a game where the Dallas Cowboys keep this one close. The defense and the pass rush does just enough, and they squeak this one out. Plus 3.5. If they lose by a field goal, we still cover. All right, let's talk about it, man. I got a fun same-game parlay, but we'll hit this game first. Bengals at the Ravens. Ravens laying 7 at home. Joe Burrow is expected to start. All right, making his long-awaited return. Hasn't played since week 2. No T. Higgins with the concussion. We knew that was coming, but Jamar Chase is back. And, that's kind of all that really matters now, isn't it? I mean, dude, Jamar Chase in his last 2 games last year against the against the Ravens, no joke. He had, I think it was like 450 total yards and 5 touchdowns. He carved them up. Now, Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, I don't think he's fully healthy. That the hamstring, the toe, whatever it may be, the rushing upside has been wildly limited recently, and he's taking more hits. He's not getting out of the pocket like he used to. He's not getting those big runs. That's a concern to me. And honestly, I think Joe Burrow, assuming he's good enough, and he was a full practice participant last week, so it's not like if he plays, he hasn't been practicing in full. He has. Could he be a little bit rusty? Sure. But the Ravens, they just have not fired on all cylinders. And I think this is the type of game where they absolutely score points, but the Bengals push them as well, and Joe Burrow pushes them as well. As long as you have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow out there, I think it is enough to do some damage against a middle-of-the-road secondary for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going Bengals +7 here on the road in a divisional spot in what I guess we could consider it a primetime game, right? I'm going to do that for the night game, but I have a same-game parlay I like quite a bit. Now, I mentioned that Lamar Jackson isn't running a lot. I don't think that's a bad thing here because the Bengals secondary is atrocious. And where do they struggle the most? They struggle the most against tight ends. This team has allowed 13 touchdowns to opposing tight ends. No other team has allowed more than 7 this season. They're allowing 87 yards per game receiving, over 10 targets per game to the position. A really tough spot for me not to say, hey, if Isaiah Likely's ever going to do it, it's going to be this week. I know he's been uninvolved. I know he's been uninspiring, but he is talented. And Lamar Jackson actually said to the media last week that his time will come. If his time comes, it has to be this week. So we're going to take a shot at +692 on FanDuel. Isaiah Likely, 50+ receiving yards and an anytime touchdown. It's up on Tails already. I told you guys earlier, but if you're not on Tails yet, use that link down below to follow me, okay? That's all you got to do. Click that, follow me, create a free account. No credit card, nothing. All of my bets are free all season long, and I intend on having a lot more props and a lot more. I'm going to get some ladders in for Thanksgiving. We're going to have some more same-game parlays, some parlays in general. We're going to have a bunch more props. All of my bets go there first before they ever pop up here. And many of them you'll never see on YouTube or Twitter because I'm not making a video every time I have a bet. Like my live bet on Baker Mayfield the other day. I saw him right before the game go, hey, I got to run more, talking to the sideline reporter. He goes, I got to hit those openings. I go, oh, wait a second. He just gave us an Easter egg. I go in, 13.5 rushing yard prop on FanDuel. Hammer that. He had 19 rushing yards in his first 2 drives. I try and give you guys all the value I can over there. But if you follow me, turn on notifications. It's all free over on Tails. We'll have a lot more throughout Thanksgiving. I already posted this one for the week. And I think it's one of those spots that I'm willing to take the risk on because we have such depressed numbers on Isaiah Likely's props right now because he hasn't done anything, that this could be the spot we get there. And if it is, I want to taste it. I need a piece of that. And we're getting, look, we're almost getting 7-1 on this. Earlier in the year, if he had a couple big games, there's 0 chance with the correlated odds, of course, touchdown and receiving yards, that we're getting anywhere close to this. So lock it in. Hit me up over on Tails with the link down there. Just follow me, and we know what to do after that. All right, finally, Black Friday. It's the Bears. It's the Eagles. Eagles laying 7 here. We got 4 straight wins for the Bears. They're 8-3, first place in the NFC North. Man, I will say, though, the competition level they've faced, not all that great. Late game walk-off wins. And look, for you Bears fans, I'm not insulting your team. Some people take this too personally. Don't take it personally. We're betting sports here. If you see it differently, you know what you do? You tell me in the comments before the game. Don't tell me after the game. Don't go, hey, this guy's an idiot. Bears were never going to lose that. It's like, well, I don't see your comments saying that before the game. Let me know before. So then when you talk shit, it means something, and you earned it. But look, they've had a lot of walk-off wins against not great teams. Last week, you had Mason Rudolph, and that game was a 3-point game. We've had how many games come down to the wire? Colston Loveland with the walk-off against the Bengals. They allowed 42 points to the Bengals in that game. Walk-off against an awful Raiders team. Against, what was it, Atlanta too? Maybe it was Washington. I think it was Washington. These are some teams where it's like, you got the win and you can only play who's on the schedule. And for that, respect. But I think the Eagles, coming off of a bad loss, making uncharacteristically bad decisions, like too many guys on the field, multiple turnovers. This to me feels like at home on a game like this, the Eagles bounce back. That game against Dallas to me is not the wheels are falling off of the Eagles. To me, it was kind of like, I'm not surprised the Eagles lost in a divisional spot against a very good offense on the road. So yes, I will go Eagles -7 here. This is a game we will be picking our spots for sure in the prop market over on Tails as well. I think there's going to be some gold there, but I won't take up your entire day. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Appreciate you watching. Hit that thumbs up before you go. Follow me at Loughy over on X if you enjoy talking football, and I will see you back here Friday. Picks for every game heading in for Sunday and Monday. Bye-bye.